if you look at the early episodes, and it's done this way from a very specific point of view of stepping back and observing in this kind of ethnographic kind of nature documentary way to some degree. I think of you take these people and you plop this alien in the alien planet, and it's like we're a National Geographic documentary, and we're watching from afar.
Can you talk to me about your camera package on Raised by Wolves?
Yeah, we shot Alexa 16 by 9 Panavision glass. We didn't shoot large format. It wasn't really part of the aesthetic. We weren't looking for super shallow depth of field necessarily. We were on relatively long lenses for large sections of the show, and then on very wide lenses on some of the interiors. And so I don't think large format would have really helped. We started, I think, Ridley and Derek had done, they'd done a lot of stuff on zooms in the beginning, and we continued, Ross and I continued to shoot on zooms. In fact, we did a lot of it on the 19-90 Panavision zoom, which is not a particularly great lens, but
really?
But it's really versatile and it's very small. And then we sort of, as the show progressed and it got more subjective, Ross and I I think we just sort of transitioned into primes because it felt more appropriate for the content. The camera was participating in the scene more. We're sort of inside the world a little bit. So we started to shoot more on primes. So I think the latter 5 or 6 episodes are mostly primos.
What do you mean participating in the scene?
Well, if you look at the early episodes, and it's done this way from a very specific point of view of stepping back and observing in this kind of ethnographic kind of nature documentary way to some degree. I think you take these people and you plop this alien in the alien planet, and it's like we're a National Geographic documentary, and we're watching from afar. So the lenses are relatively long, and there's lots of cameras picking it, and the cutting can be sometimes jumpy or off axis, and that's the style that we were going for at the beginning. And then as characters sort of become more comfortable with the location, and they sort of start to really inhabit it, and the audience accepts them as inhabitants of this planet and not just visitors, we start to bring the camera into the conversation. So there's less overs, there's less, it's a little bit more structured, I think, stylistically. And that was something that just happened organically. It wasn't necessarily, I think Ross or I or the producers discussed that as an aesthetic direction. I think it just sort of started to feel right as we got the scripts in, and we started to see what direction the show was going. So there are these kind of very science fiction based flashbacks where it's these kind of epic set pieces where we back on planet Earth that we got to be a little bit more gestured with, and a little bit more playful with. So